me and Candace's life. You lose your daughter, and then you get blamed for it, and then everybody turns on you. We had threatening phone calls daily. They threatened my job. They'd done everything they could to destroy our family. Had a stranger come up at 2 in the morning. Didn't know what he was doing there. I fired a shot over his head, and they ran down the driveway. I expected bullet holes to be coming through our house, so we had a lot of sleepless nights. It was taking a toll on me. At one point, I broke down. I lost it. I started drinking really bad, and I made some poor decisions. Once the summer was taken, CPS had to open a case for our good and for the boys' protection. So CPS thought our house was dangerous. I was being dangerous. The CPS took our boys, which I was glad at the time. I was glad that they were not here because I was scared to death for their lives. I agreed with them. My wife didn't, and she's mad at me, but it was just too dangerous. And now it's 3 months later, and there's no sign of our daughter, and we miss all our kids. We just miss them so much.
You want the boys back,
Yes, sir.
and you didn't want them to go to begin with.
Right.
You want them back now.
Yes.
Do you think it's safe for them to come back?
It's a lot safer than it was.
Yeah.
You haven't had any acts of violence against you at the house?
No.
Okay. So there's no reason in terms of acts of violence that have been perpetrated against you that would cause them to conclude that the boys would be in harm's way?
No, we just had one issue with a woman sent to our house, and we don't know. We've heard she was sent from some YouTubers. We don't know, but we called the police right away, and they took her off the property.
If they did a home study right now, if they came in and studied the home, would it meet the standard that they were looking for? Would the house be clean and uncluttered and groceries and safe as far as guns and everything that Child Protective Services investigates? Would it be proper for the boys?
Well, there's some things they want us to work on. We need to put in a couple walls and some other things. So there's still a few things we need to work on.
But you could get that done in short order.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what I think. And like I say, I've done this a lot, and I trained as a forensic psychologist, looking psychology and the law and the forensics involved with human behavior and conduct. And based on the timeline and the factors here, it's very clear to me, based on the facts, that neither one of you did anything to hurt your daughter.
No, sir.
No, sir.
That's very clear to me.
Awesome.
So are you understand that I understand that?
Yes.
And you understand that initially the first thing they do is look at if it's the husband that goes missing or gets killed, they look at the spouse. If it's the wife that goes missing, they look at the husband.
Yeah.
Because statistically, oftentimes that's who it is. Again, because of access,
Right.
opportunity, motive, means, all of that, they look at the spouse. And so when something happens to a child, parents are the ones in control of the child, so that's the first place they look.
Yes, sir.
And when I first studied this case, the first thing I looked at was, okay, what would be the opportunity for the father and the mother? And I looked at that, not knowing y'all at all, just to look at it. And
Something, isn't it?
Oh my Lord. So and it was crazy because Candace tried to go up in the Silverado and the tail kept kicking sideways. And her mother yelled at her, "Didn't I tell you got to put it in 4-wheel drive?" And hearing that, I'm like, what? You need 4-wheel drive to make it up this driveway? Because I expected a paved driveway. I wasn't expecting a driveway like that, you know?
Really?
So she wound up, reversing the truck. She put it in 4-wheel and romped it right through, like just put pedal to the metal.
Absolutely.
Just to get up to the hill. So as we're pulling up, I remember just seeing the grass taller than summer. Like it was, and the lawnmower sitting there. And they were saying, yeah, Hunter is supposed to be doing that. And he's like, yeah, but that's a lot, you know? And he was right. It really was a lot. And he was like, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing nothing, so I could help if you want a little help. And he was like, yeah, that'll be great. I was like, yeah, why not? Because it'll keep my mind off of things, just trying to keep my mind busy. So we wind up pulling up, and then I remember seeing Candace's mother's camper and the fridge. And then they had a couple of other things like tires and things like that, like in a little pit or something. And Candace was saying once in a while they'll light that up and burn trash there during the nighttime.
Wait a
So
minute.
nobody would tell, you know, with the black smoke and things like that.
Wait a minute.
And
What?
you know, with the thing. And Candace was like in the fridge. And then they had a couple of other things like tires and things like that, like in a little pit or something. And Candace was saying once in a while they'll light that up and burn trash there during the nighttime. So nobody would tell, you know, with the black smoke and things like that. And as we get to the house, all I can remember were these dogs just
Free ride when they already paid. Well, that's the, like, you pay for a ride, but then it ends up being free. That's ironic. A fire pit. That's interesting. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Refrigerator that was standing outside when some pictures were released of the Wells property on Ben Hill Road. It just looks like an old and broken down refrigerator that they probably put outside for the kids to play with or whatever. Something I noticed, and I think a lot of you noticed as well in the interview Don did with the reporter, he showed her the dog trail. Don had a stick in his hand and he started to bang on the refrigerator a few times. Some said that it seemed as though Don was angry at it or something. Upon closer inspection, we saw some tiny holes in the refrigerator door. What do you think those holes are from? I can count about 5 tiny holes in the door of the refrigerator. Now, there were rumors going around and maybe you can share more with me if you know about this, but it was said that Summer was playing hide and seek with her brothers on the day she went missing. Did you hear that? Let me know in the comments. Ozeroman gave us insight into Summer's favorite hiding spots. The one was in that same refrigerator. He actually said that's her go-to spot. Another favorite of hers is in Grandis's camper, in the bathroom section of.
I don't want to go into it, but
yes, absolutely. You
Okay,
know,
but
and
then-
the more and more I
Go
spoke
ahead.
out, the more and more he didn't like it. That was the problem. Because
Okay.
no one spoke out. And this is why I felt that they were afraid of him.
Who's
And
they?
I just Candace and her mother.
Okay. Okay. But now in retrospect, looking back, when you first tell the FBI after 7 days, there's no way. Did you include the SA allegations or the observations?
No,
How come?
I really wasn't even thinking about that. Honestly.
Okay.
That wasn't even a thought in my mind because I didn't think he was doing any SA to Summer when he was in the bath with her. I just found it disgusting to take a bath with your daughter.
It depends what time. Usually I record. I think I record tomorrow night, depending on the time. Send me an email if you can.
You know, that was my my trigger.
I'll talk about this case whenever I can with anybody.
There, like, no, I don't think so. But as far
And
as
you confronted him, right?
yes,
You
yes, I took Summer out of that shower. Yes, I did. I stood there with her pink princess towel because that was her favorite towel, and she always used it. And I remember that towel because that towel would get washed like every other day because Summer will always be dirty because she was outside playing so much. And she will always be full of dirt.
I'm just curious, Jose, though, you know, in full transparency, you know, the fact that you have witnessed potentially something that even caused you as a father internally to say, you know what, that DLR, right, does not look right. And you intervene, and that intervention causes a major disruption between you and a father and a daughter and children and all this other stuff. And then this child goes missing, down the road. Now, mind you, you're gone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get that piece, brother. Okay. But at the same time, when the cops and the authorities come to you and you mention, okay, did she go out? They had to have asked about, was there any type of observations or problems in that home that you could at least, give us a little more intel into? And now maybe this was just your mindset at the time, and I don't want to, disrespect you. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm
No,
just saying,
that's
I'm just
no.
saying,
You're right.
this just doesn't, it, I don't know if it fits. Does that make sense in terms of it is what it is, but if that's what you did and that's the truth, okay, no problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they
But
didn't ask me nothing like that. That I
okay,
could
they didn't
tell
go
you,
down that route.
they didn't. No, they did not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It was
Okay.
more like they felt like they did bodily harm to her.
Got it. Okay.
That's
So
where I got. That's what I got from their questioning to me about them.
yep, absolutely fair enough. Fair enough. And I can see that unfolding just the way it did, just what you're saying. Been there many times, and it has fallen into that point. So in retrospect now, looking back, what's your opinion?
I should have did something. I really do. I should have did something. That's what I honestly believe, because I feel that time that I pulled her out the shower, that should have been me. I should have just picked up the phone and called the cops right then and there. I mean, worry was that I did that and the cops really didn't do much. They wouldn't have looked at it as he's doing anything bad because we were all in there. While
I slept, she slept in between me and Candace for 5 years straight.
Why?
Because I tried to get her sleep in her own bed, and she come to me one night. I said, Summer, you have to sleep in your own bed. She went in there and laid down, and she come back. She was with tears in her eyes. Says, but Daddy, I just want to be with you. And I said,
Right.
okay, Summer. I couldn't tell her no.
Yeah.
How do you tell your little girl no when she wants to sleep with you? I can't. It's impossible.
Well, then why do these people like Cher and Benny say and put these things in everybody's head that would all sleep naked and shower with her? Like, why are they putting that stuff out? Like, is that true?
When your little girl and your boys, they go out and they play all day, and then they get mixed up with candy. You bring them candy on or something.
Yeah.
They got the shit all over their face and in their hair.
Yeah.
Well, I have to take a shower every night because I work in drywall.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, get your little punk asses in here. And we'd all rinse off together real quick. Mom would be waiting there with the towel. I'd throw them out one at a time. And Mom would dry them off and dress them. So, I don't want my little girl with freaking candy all over her sleeping next to me. And plus, she ain't gonna sleep good unless she's clean. I did it out of love.
So it was. How big is your shower?
I mean, it's like one of them, I don't know, it's not that big. It's kind of hard to fit. I've had every one of my kids in there with me. All of them, all 4 of them plus me. And I'll throw them out one at a time to Mom.
Well,
No problem.
does Candace shower with the babies?
Well, Candace don't take a shower that often because I work every day. I work. I have to take a shower.
Yeah.
I sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. That's so crazy.
Nothing dirty like all these.
They wouldn't have looked at it as he's doing anything bad because we were all in there, while they were in the shower. I didn't even know until I heard her voice. And I was like, where's Summer? Oh, she's in the bath with her dad. I'm like, what? What do you mean with her dad? And Candace was like, yeah, he always takes a bath with her. I'm like, and I just jumped, not jumped, but like I just got off the table right away. And I was like, where's her towel? And I looked and I found it right on the dryer, and I just grabbed it. And I'm like, Summer, and she's like, yes. And she's like, yes, okay. I said, come out here, baby, just like that. And she's like, okay. And she came out, and I just wrapped her up in the towel, and that's when Dawn came out of the shower, still half full of soap, screaming at me, and I'm like, I really don't, and I was swearing back at her, but I basically told I didn't care because I don't think like that. And then I looked at Candace, I said, matter of fact, you go and take a bath with Summer. I said, this is not going to happen anymore. But looking at that, that's when I should have just picked up the phone and called, but wasn't sure if anything would have happened.
However, it turns out the last time they spoke was years ago, and Jose actually got rid of his old phone. He went completely off the grid. Jose revealed so much information, my mind is still spinning. I don't know what to believe, but one thing I can say is that upon starting that interview, he made Candace out to be an innocent victim. Well, that's until he revealed something we all wondered about for all these months, whether there was actually something inappropriate going on between Hunter and Candace. According to Jose, there was. The next point disturbed me, so much that I put off my laptop and went to bed. I just couldn't take it. You guys know me by now. I absolutely despise animal abuse. Trigger warning for this part, please. I wouldn't go into too much detail, because I feel sick just thinking about it. Basically, Summer had this beautiful little kitten who she loved dearly. The kitten used to go everywhere with her. Don didn't want the kitten in the house, so he threw the kitten to the dogs, and you know what happened after that. Poor little Summer was devastated according to Jose, and she cried herself to sleep. Another point that Jose mentioned is that Ali did in fact buy food for the Wells kids. However, we also know that Jose and Ali had something going on, not a relationship though. It was just a one-night thing according to him. He also gave so much information about Dawn and the way Dawn acts that I really don't know what to believe anymore. A lot to unpack, but this is just a brief overview of what was said in the interview. The video, as far as I know now, is private.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, please keep praying for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Goodbye for now.